banking as a service models coming out and platforms and banks being far more agile as a result, what are the kind of increased revenue streams that can be accessed by the banks by utilizing that model?
I think banking as a service changes practically everything for banks. So banks can set up banking as a service kind of utility models and be able to reach out to far-flung, geographies which they were hitherto not reaching out to. That gives them increased volumes of transactions, albeit at a lower cost, of course.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is a market they were never able to reach out in the first place.
If we look at a business use case for some of the technology that's emerging in institutional banking, let's start with APIs, for instance. How are they being utilized, and what are some of the biggest trends you see that banks are looking at utilizing APIs for?
Yeah, so I think it's funny with APIs because we actually have had them for quite some time, but
right.
They are developing. So I think if I recall correctly, we had a SOAP API. You can't ask me what it is really, but it's a really old one that we had for many years ago. But then we developed new APIs, and we saw very little demand, to be honest with you, from our buy-side clients.
Right.
So what I've seen now is when we have these open APIs where we can collaborate much more with the FinTechs and the traditional technology companies, the demand for APIs and the way of communicating has increased.
Yes.
Because I think we see the cross-collaboration around services and solutions.
How does SunTec's proposition enable the banks to truly customize their offerings? Because I think that's something that customers really want from their banking provider now, right?
Right, absolutely. Thanks to Google and Amazon kind of experiences, every one of us, or the SME or a corporate customer, has got used to getting a very personalized experience. In fact, if today you can't offer a personalized experience, you're not taken seriously at all. And our offering allows the banks to exactly do that. So we are able to essentially tailor the customer experience and convert it into a segment of one for every customer that the bank deals with. And all of this without really fussing or worrying about the application landscape complexity. So that allows the banks to do it very quickly in an agile, flexible manner.
I mean, a lot of the things we do is based on scale and transparency.
Yeah.
And of course, this is a little bit of a struggle. I think we're still in the middle of the digital transformation in a way.
Yeah.
So we have some hurdles to get over still. But what I can see is the combination of, for example, cloud solutions.
Oh, yeah.
You will be able to share technology still, as it seems now, in a much more trustable way.
Yes.
And you will be able to communicate through the APIs, for example, and then also now with AI, I mean artificial intelligence, and now also the generative one. I think we see new opportunities coming our way here.
For the banks to be able to offer that level of granularity or customization, how does SunTec help them on the kind of the processes or the operational side of things to afford that flexibility?
So the way it works is most large banks are saddled with a very complex, well, let me call it a heritage application landscape, right? And that doesn't allow the business to move as quickly in the marketplace as they'd want to. And each time business wants to launch a new offering or a promotion or a campaign, the technology department is forced to say, much as they not want to, that we're going to take time to write a code. Now, as an example, if a bank identifies that in Toronto or in Amsterdam or in Tel Aviv, there's a growing FinTech, community, and there are a lot of startups in these countries and many more, and the bank wants to offer a FinTech specific offering, right? A SME offering which is designed for FinTech startup businesses. Now, while the business sees an opportunity in the marketplace, the technology department takes time. Now, we come in and essentially set up an over-the-top layer on top of the heritage application landscape, a very non-intrusive manner, and allow the banks to come up with these offerings which are typically product bundles and service offerings which are very specific to a segment or an individual.